soulmate tomorrow.
Good evening and welcome. You're watching India Now at 7 and I'm Ruchi Bhatia. We will straight away cut across to the Tata Steel management that is addressing the media after a very strong show in Q2. Their consolidated PAT has come in at 3,604 crore rupees as against 1,017 crore rupees on a year-on-year basis. So definitely strong showing by Tata Steel. Let's cut across and hear what the management is saying.
Reflected in the fact that China is exporting less, maybe about 5 to 6 million tons a month, which is a fairly manageable level of exports. So, and if you see the demand growth in most major steel consuming markets, whether it is the US, whether it's Europe, whether it's Russia, it's all been positive growth. Of course, India and Southeast Asia continue to be strong as well from a demand growth point of view. So overall, I think the macroeconomic conditions have been supporting good demand growth. So the trade actions in some sense is caused some diversion of trade flows, has also caused the steel prices to be quite high in the US. So if you look at the US markets, what has happened as a consequence of the trade actions is that the steel prices went up by about 20-25% in a very short period of time. So overall we see that the good macroeconomic conditions and good demand growth has helped reduce the impact of the trade actions. Okay. Having said that, there are specific concerns that we have in Europe about more material getting diverted from Turkey to the EU as compared to, earlier it used to go to the US. So the EU has also, the European Commission has also taken some steps. So there is a window in which you can send steel into Europe as long as it is similar to what you were sending earlier. And beyond that, there is a 25% duty on whatever comes in. So there is a protection available in EU. And at this point in time, because the domestic markets in both India and China have been strong, the exports from India and China into the EU has reduced, and the Turkish exports has actually stepped into that gap. So overall, we see that the trade flows have not had as much of an impact as the trade actions have not had as much of an impact as we had feared when they were first announced, and so that's something which is positive. As far as India is concerned, the demand has been reasonably strong. I think over the last 1 month there's been some concerns because of the NBFC issues, but otherwise, for a seasonally weak quarter, the demand growth has been decent. I know that over the last few weeks we've seen slowdown in auto demand growth, etc. But overall, I think fundamentals seem quite strong, and the government spending on infrastructure is there, and automotive, particularly commercial vehicles, has been quite strong. So overall, we're positive about it. The weaker rupee has, of course, helped us with some comfort against imports. So that's the overall picture.
Hi.
Sorry, you had asked about Southeast Asia. So Southeast Asia, we are always looking at various possibilities, as we have said. So as of now, we have nothing to announce yet, but there are certain options that we are considering.
Hi, this is Promit from Reuters. First question is that when you said that the European Union has raised some questions on electric steel and auto and packaging, does it mean that you'll have to eventually sell them off? And if yes, then have you already started the process?
So they have raised points, which is why it has gone into phase 2, and which is pretty natural of this size of transaction. Also, if normally if in phase 1 there is no remedies which are offered, it goes to phase 2. So that means that we will have more detailed opportunities to have a detailed engagement with the EC, and we will understand what their issues are. As far as electrical steel is concerned, we are already announced that we are looking for potential divestment. So if that gets consummated, then obviously there is no overlap between us and ThyssenKrupp. As far as the others are concerned, we will, as I said, we will continue to have that engagement and understand what their concerns are, because I think we have the most important issue is the industrial logic and the industrial rationale remains very strong for a consolidation in Europe, and that's what we believe in, and that's been our fundamental point of view. And it is good for the entire ecosystem of the steel industry, not only local players, but also the community and the sustainability of the entire business. So I think it is the right industrial logic, and we peg our basis on that. So we are in construction collaboration with our colleagues who are ThyssenKrupp as well as the EC, and we'll understand what their concerns are.
And in terms of the proposed JV, have you already started working on who will be on the board and what will be the branding and positioning, etc.?
So branding, we had already announced earlier that it will be ThyssenKrupp Tata Steel as the name of the company. Branding will happen when the company actually starts operating. As far as the other governance positions are concerned, that's also part of our conversation with ThyssenKrupp, and at an appropriate time that will be announced.
Okay. Considering that ArcelorMittal is now mostly entering the country, does that change the entire competitive landscape of India's steel industry, and does it kind of increase the competition for you, or how do you see at it?
I think, personally, I think we feel that the Indian industry will benefit from world-class players coming in, because the market is there, it's growing, and I think it's useful for the customers to have options. So from that point of view, take a more holistic view. I think it's good for.
All right, that was of course Tata Steel management addressing media after their strong showing in the second quarter. We shift focus then on to another big corporate development that came out this evening, and it's curtain downs on the Bansal era and Flipkart. In an unexpected turn of events, Walmart today let go of P.D. Bansal as the Flipkart Group CEO with